All righty. So we want to honor everybody's time. Thank you for everyone that's come on to Redox Nurse Talk. I'm Doria Stewart from Atlanta, Georgia. And my wonderful partner, I'm not going to say co-host because she's my partner in this, is Cindy Reed from Nashville, Tennessee. And we're both registered nurses. We're also independent global associates with a cellular health company called ASEA. And so our mission is just to educate people on this breakthrough technology that's like 10, 15 years ahead of our time, just to let people hear about it. What they do with it is really up to them, but it's really our obligation, we feel, and our mission to share this with as many people as we possibly can. And so we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule tonight, to be with us. We have to put our disclaimer in. So anything you're about to hear on a video and then through the testimonial that you'll hear later on with our guest is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure anything. And so we like to have someone come on where you can hear a live testimony. And so that's Charles Gibbons, and Cindy will be interviewing him after our video. So what you'll be listening to, we always like to, instead of us explaining to you what this is, we like to share a video with you. And tonight we're going to show the here we go. I got a tongue twister. Real Redox results video that has over 150 testimonials on there as well. And the password is Redox. And there's 7 board certified physicians on there that verify this technology. So I'm going to hand it over to Cindy so she can show that to you.
Okay. I will share my screen and we will get started on this, hopefully with no technical difficulties.
Hello, my name is Alan Noble. I've been involved in the health and wellness industry for over 30 years, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to introduce you to a cutting-edge health technology that we call ASEA Redox. ASEA Redox represents a new category in health and wellness that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. It could not be done. And yet today, health and medical experts around the world are calling ASEA Redox one of the single greatest health science breakthroughs of our lifetime. Now, a great place to get started is to get clear on what ASEA Redox is not. It's not a vitamin, a mineral, an antioxidant supplement. It's not an exotic juice, essential oil, or a CBD oil. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. I'm just saying they're not ASEA Redox. This technology goes beyond nutrition, it goes beyond ingredients, and yet it has the power to impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, ASEA Redox is the missing link to better health and vitality. Now, to understand this technology, you've got to realize that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells are signaling and communicating critical messages for health, healing, and repair. If there's any breakdown in that signaling, you cannot achieve your full health potential. You see, this signaling impacts every system, every organ, every function of your body. You could say that if your cells can't signal, then little else matters. Now, you've probably heard it said that we live and die at the cellular level. If you want a healthy heart, have healthy heart cells. If you want healthy lungs, have healthy lung cells. Well, as science looks deeper inside your 75 trillion cells, they've discovered a very special set of molecules called redox signaling molecules. These are the molecules that you make that are absolutely foundational for healthy cell signaling throughout your body. However, here's the challenge. With age, diet, stress, toxins, we begin to make less of these redox signaling molecules. And it's about 10% decline every decade. So by age 50, you've about half the signaling that you had when you were younger. And as a result, things just don't work like they used to. You begin to see, you begin to feel the effects of aging. A simple example. Imagine your home's on fire and you call the fire department, and they're there with the big red truck, the firefighters, the fire hose. They've got everything they need to put out this fire, but what if you have a bad cell signal? They don't get the message. They don't know what the problem is, where the problem is, how serious the problem is, and your home goes up in smoke. Well, it's the same with your health. So let me ask you a very powerful question. What if? What if you could amplify and clarify this critical cell signal and empower your body to work like it's supposed to? That would be a game changer. So introducing ASEA Redox, the world's first and only cell signaling supplement powered by high energy redox signaling molecules. And since this technology is backed by 7 patents and over 1,000 trade secrets, there's no other supplement like it in the world. Now, not only is ASEA Redox a cell signaling technology, but it also signals at the profound depths of the genetic level. In an 8-week study, it was found that drinking ASEA Redox could increase 5 important gene signaling pathways by up to 31%, positively impacting 5 major areas of health: immune function, inflammatory response, cardiovascular health, digestive health, and even hormone balance. It's also been shown that ASEA Redox significantly impacts the NRF2 pathway, which is the master switch that signals the production of the most powerful antioxidants known to man, including the master antioxidant glutathione. Now, 2 separate university studies showed that ASEA Redox increases NRF2 activation by up to 60%, resulting in an increase of glutathione production by up to 55%. So although ASEA Redox is not your traditional antioxidant supplement, its impact on antioxidant health is nothing short of astonishing. Now, this is just one key on the ASEA piano. ASEA Redox is much more than an NRF2 activator or an antioxidant supplement. Remember, signaling impacts every system, every organ, every function of your body. If your cells can't signal, then little else matters. So at this point, let's hear what health and medical professionals are saying about the ASEA Redox breakthrough.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries. But now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
So hopefully you're beginning to see why this technology is being hailed as one of the most significant health science breakthroughs of our lifetime. It's empowering people to feel better than ever before. For many, it is the missing link to better health and vitality. And it's not just health. Athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength, and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. In a university study, mice drinking ASEA Redox for only 7 days ran 29% further to exhaustion due to significant metabolic shifts in their bodies as they started to burn more fat as fuel. And so amateur athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are enjoying the ASEA athletic advantage. Now, after another 5 years of research and development, the scientists behind ASEA Redox were able to develop Renew 28, a topical gel that is infused with these powerful high-energy redox signaling molecules. So you've probably heard it said that seeing is believing. Well, when Renew 28 is applied to the skin, it results in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger-looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging. It also improves skin cell renewal rates and increases skin cell blood flow. We also discovered that when you apply Renew 28 to anywhere that hurts, ideally 3 applications in 5 minutes, over 90% of people notice a significant reduction in their discomfort. Now, I do want to point out that we have continued to expand our range of redox signaling products to include an intensive redox serum for those little trouble spots, and then more recently the redox clay mask, combining our redox signaling gel with an ultra pure bentonite clay. And so headed up by the big blue bottle, this is our cell signaling product division. However, we have 4 product divisions in total. We offer a very clean and effective skincare system called Renew Advanced, high-quality bioavailable nutritionals called ASEA Via, and more recently, fun functional beverages called Cell Performance that address fatigue, brain fog, stress, as well as a vegan amino acid formula that helps your body build its own valuable collagen. Now, of course, the purpose of this video was to introduce you to our remarkable cell signaling technology. Now, we have other videos and websites that go a lot deeper into this health science breakthrough. But for now, I would encourage you to explore some of the other videos on this website. This is where you're going to hear how this technology has impacted people's lives. And some of these stories are absolutely astonishing. Real people sharing real redox results. So this is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
Stop the share. Let's get back. Okay. All right. Again, we want to thank everybody for coming. We're excited to have this guest tonight, and I want to make a little short correction. I'm not from Nashville. I live in Nashville, but I'm originally from Mississippi. So it's nice to have a fellow Mississippian here tonight as our guest. We have Charles Givens, and I'm going to give you a short glimpse of his bio, and then he can fill in any pieces as well as tell more of his story. So Charles was born and grew up in Ripley, Mississippi. He moved to Memphis, Tennessee, where he met his wife, Dawn, and they opted to move the family from the city back to Ripley and in the country to raise their family, which sounds like a great idea, I told him. So I met Charles, I guess, maybe the last few months this year for the first time, I think, Charles. And I've heard his testimony, and it's really amazing. And we just appreciate you coming on and sharing this tonight. So Charles, just start us off. Tell us a little bit about maybe how you were introduced to this and what results you may have seen. And I'm just going to let you take it and run from there.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to be on your program, and I hope we can do it justice. And I first of all want to make mention of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It was a God thing for us to come into this business. You know, you've heard Teddy and Stacy talk about how they asked the Lord to show them people that needed the product and needed the business too. We really didn't think about getting in a business. In fact, we almost ran. I think if my wife hadn't been between me and the door, I probably would have run. But we were, after we back it up a little bit, my background is in heavy transportation, construction supervision, industrial supervision, sales, marketing. I've been in several multi-level marketing ventures. never before anything like the product that we have in this business in ASEA. We were introduced to it kind of by accident, I guess. Like I say, I believe it was a God thing, but I've had that happen to me already since we started using the product. But we were doing construction on a new, well, we were calling it a retirement home. I'm 74 and started trying to retire at 66, but it just hadn't worked out that way. But we were caught up in a bad time of inflation, and just at the time we started this house, we were down to the point where we had run out of money before we had planned to sell our other house before we uh, did, and we still haven't sold it yet. But anyway, that was causing us to have to do a lot of the work ourselves. Like I was in the house laying flooring, and Don was painting, and I was doing trim work and stuff that I should have been hired done because I was just not able to do it. But anyway, we got some outside work and we needed some material. Uh, and I told Don I thought I knew a place we could get something, we could look at something, that we didn't know if we wanted it or not. But we went to a building material place and we're looking at some material. And the guy that owned the business was talking to us. And he said, well, if you get this material, are you planning to put it up yourself, or are you going to want to hire somebody to do it? And before I could answer, get a word out of my mouth, Dawn spoke up, my wife, and said, oh, he's not able to do much of anything anymore. He's getting going downhill quick. This heat and all the work he's having to do, plus working a job full time, he is just not able to do it. Well, Teddy Cornelius, the guy that we were talking to, turned and looked at me and said, if I could tell you about something that might help you with some of those problems, some of those health issues, would you be interested? And again, before I could say a word, Don said, he sure would. And I thought, oh no, what have we gotten into now? It's another one of those deals. And so he pulled out a tube of what we now know is Renew 28 gel. But he said, have you ever heard of Redox cell signaling molecules? And I said, what is that? And he said, well, we'll get into that. We'll get you some more information on it later. But he said, if you'll let me, I'll show you a little demonstration of it. So he proceeded to give me a little strength and stability test. And I failed miserably. And then he allowed me to place some of the Renew 28 gel on my neck and did the same test again. And it was just profoundly different. I had more strength, more stability. And I think Don was taking in more of it than I was because I was interested in getting out of there because I had to go to work that night and it was getting over in the afternoon. So long story short, Teddy connected my wife with his wife Stacy, and she sent us some videos, and Don watched those, and she went to a workshop the next day, and she called me as I was at work the next day. I go to work in the middle of the night, and she called me when she got up the next morning and said, well, we're doing this. I ordered it. And I said, oh, me, what's it going to cost? But, the guys, we always thinking about the cost of everything. But anyway, we got the product in and I started taking first because she was more concerned about me than she was herself. And I started taking 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces at night and rubbing the gel everywhere that I hurt, which was basically from head to toe. I had started wrecking this body probably about age 10 or before. I was thrown from a horse and shattered my left elbow, and then had appendicitis, had to have an appendectomy that same year. And I think it was in the 10th grade in high school. I was in a sports injury playing football, and got my left knee kind of busted up. So it when I met Dawn, I was 27, and I was in working at a factory, and I worked at the railroad. Like I said, I was in transportation, several different avenues, but I had to give up the railroad job and was working at a corn syrup refinery, and it was just getting worse and worse living in Memphis. The traffic, the crime, everything was just getting harder and harder, and especially to raise children. So when I met Dawn, she had 3 children, and we uh, added one to that within the next year or so. And long about the time we started that venture, my parents made us an offer of some land, and we decided to take it and move out of Memphis and move back to Ripley, Mississippi. Like you said, we built a house there and then worked there in industry and a few other positions over the years. But needless to say, I was continually wrecking myself with accidents, injuries, illnesses, eating wrong, uh, not taking care of myself at all, and just kind of, we grew up in the country, and where if the cow was in the ditch, well, you got down in there with the ditch and picked it up physically, manually, if possible, and just that sort of stuff was a, a disaster for your body. I mean, if especially you're not eating right, not hydrating right. Uh, I didn't really pay much attention to those things at all. And by the time I was 59, I believe I had my first hip replacement. And then I had another one at 66, had the first hip replacement, had to have a revision on it. And then in 69, at age 69, I had a knee replacement. And I've also had surgery on hand from injuries, wrist. The list goes on and on. But I had some bad cells in my urinary system that came along at age 69, and had to go through some treatments and stuff like that. And all this stuff just kind of takes a toll on you, even though they give you medicine and they do wonders with surgery and procedures. There's still some things that take away that you don't ever get back by the traditional medicine pathway that is so typically used by everybody these days. My sister was a registered nurse, and she had kind of mentored the family in the health issues, and I'd always depended on her. We lost her in 2002 to bad cells, and I really went to where if I didn't have my wife down, I probably wouldn't have made it this far. But she guided us correctly when she saw the big picture with ASEA when we were introduced to it. And after I started taking it, within a couple of months, I started feeling a little woozy sometimes. I checked my blood pressure, and it was really low. So I was taking a lot of medicine for that and for other things. And just happened I had a 6-month checkup with my internal medicine doctor. And after looking at all my blood work and numbers on everything, he allowed me to come cut my medications back about 1/3, I guess, maybe 1/4 to 1/3. Anyway, a little less than half. On some medicines, it was over half, and on some of the other medicines, it was less than half. Continued taking the product, rubbing the gel, and noticed that I was getting less and less discomfort in my joints and muscles. I was getting continuing to monitor my blood pressure and blood sugar, and like I've been doing for years since I had a heart attack when I was 59. And by the way, I have a stent in my Widowmaker artery, the one they call MLAD or something like that. But it was just a constant check. That's the reason for the 4 doctor visits a year, was all this combination of all these things. But as I went on another 6 months, this was like in November of 23, I went back to my internal medicine doctor, and I believe I saw my heart doctor during that time period also, and was able to quit taking some more medications. And back in the beginning, like 2 to 3 months in, I had quit taking a lot of over-the-counter medications because the Renew 28 gel was doing what they didn't do so well. Because in addition to taking away the pain temporarily, they were tearing down my organs. And I even alternated between the 3 different major kinds, to try to protect the different organs. And I was so glad. I mean, the side effects from the medications that I was taking over the counter and prescription uh, outweigh the benefits so badly. I mean, that's just something you have to learn to live with until you find out about something like a SIA. Well, at the first chance we got to go to an event in February of 23, February of 24, I'm sorry. We had just discovered all kinds of benefits that we were getting from ASEA. I've upped my dosage on the Redox molecules. I kind of take it as needed. I've watched some of the videos from the athletes and people like Sean Burke and Jerry White, and I've kind of have learned a little bit about it. I've learned that I could drink more of the liquid and rub less of the gel, and that saves me a little time during the day. I don't spend so much time rubbing as I do. I just take a drink and get going. But we went to the event in Dallas in February, and I really got a big picture of ASEA when we got to hear from the people of the company. And one of the biggest things that had impressed me so strongly at the beginning was a video of Vertus Norton and Tyler talking about how they started the company, how they founded it. And we have just continued to be awestruck by the way that the company cares about the people and cares about getting this product out to the people that need it so badly. After we had been on it just a few weeks, we started telling people about what it was doing for us. And here, first thing you know, my daughter says, "Well, can I try that?" And we told her, "Well, let us check on that. We'll see how to do that." So we called our sponsor, Stacy, and she said, "Sure. Do you want me to sponsor, or do you want to take care of it yourself?" Well, I think we'd rather do that. So we signed her up and got her started. And she's going to be here next week. Her and Dawn will be on y'all's program next week, and y'all can hear more about that. They've been on Real Redox Results with Alan. Number 134, I think, is one of them, 133. Anyway, they're down there somewhere. Back to where I started in this business, I think y'all picked it up on the flyer. I was a physical wreck, and a lot of it was just by self-destruction. And these products have turned my life around. I'm doing a job right now at 74 years old that a lot of 60-year-old people have to quit because it just gets really difficult. And I was at that stage myself. I was getting to the point that I was so having a struggle to handle the equipment that I had to use to load and unload my truck and deliver the gasoline from the place where they supply it to the stations, like where you fill your car up, and trucks and stuff like that. Well, as I started noticing changes in my health, I began to notice that I was getting stronger and more stable. I could handle the things that were giving me really, really big problems to begin with. I see somebody's wanting to know how much I drink a day. I probably between 8 and 12 ounces, according to what kind of day I've got. Uh, at 74, you have a lot less available redox molecules left in your body than you had at 24, and that's where the blue bottle has rescued me, and I know a lot of other people it has too. The thing about the business is I have already experienced, like Stacy and Teddy did with us, people coming to me and telling me they've been praying for something, somebody to tell them about something that would help them. And I thought it was just physical there for a while, but in 2016, at age 66, this was the year I was planning to retire. I was involved in a tragic accident that involved a fatality, and it was in my gas truck. And it was a lot of stress, a very situation. There was a vehicle under my gas truck on fire, and I had to deal with that just on the spur of the moment. And in addition to dealing with the death of somebody that I didn't even know. And that started a sequence in my life that I never would have expected. I have a newfound respect for our military guys who come home from traumatic experiences. I don't compare my circumstances to anywhere near theirs, but I know it's real. And I know that I had anxiety, depression. I was in a very dark place in my life. I couldn't even stay around my family sometimes. And it was causing me lots of grief just for that, as well as my family. I mean, uh, to have to get up and leave when you're having a family get together and just go to another room or go out of the house just because you don't know why. But I was pleasantly surprised after taking ASEA a few months. I began to notice that subsiding, and I began to notice that I was sleeping all night without waking up in a cold sweat. And if I had a dream that I remembered, it was a pleasant dream, and it wasn't something that, was just reliving their flashbacks or whatever. And I have really come to peace with a lot of things, a lot of issues that I would have never thought would be from a non-toxic substance made out of salt water that I would put in my body. And that's just one of the greatest accomplishments to me, that everything in your body is made up of cells. And the ASEA redox molecules, your body knows what to do with them. It knows where it needs them worst. And it goes there first, where your worst condition is, and goes to work. And we've already been able to help a lot of people, not near as many as I'd like to. Not everybody will listen, but we've made a commitment. We're going to keep telling people about it. The company takes care of you for doing that, and we're proud to be associated with ASEA and plan to be here. And I'll keep taking it. I've got to throw this one in. This is my first time to ever get to give my testimony before my wife. I've always followed her. And the Mood is a wonderful product. My wife can't get mad at me when she takes the Mood drink. So those Cell Performance drinks, I use the Cell Performance drinks, take the vitamins, all the Cell Performance and Cell signaling products. Everything but the skincare. I don't use a whole lot of that other than the ASEA Renew 28. I put that on my face a lot of times. I've got some little places here and there that I've had surgery, and had things removed, bad cells, and this seems to be doing more good than the surgeon's knife did. But we'll go from there. That's y'all got any questions now?
I forgot to say, and Doria put it in there, but if you have any questions, put them in the chat. We're going to go that direction and let Charles answer the questions. Charles, I like what you said. You're talking about the company and how it got started and talking about what kind of company. And you mentioned research and development. I tell people this is a research and development company. They just happen to use the network marketing method to share the product, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there have been, so we talk about redox signaling molecules. Like you said, this is native to your body. We're just putting them back in. There have been 2 books that I've read recently that talk about redox signaling. So the word is getting out there. Doctors are hearing about it. Healthcare professionals are hearing about it. One person was Dr. Mark Hyman in his book, Forever Young, or Young Forever, sorry, Young Forever, I always get that reversed. And then Tony Robbins, his book Life Force, mentions redox signaling too. So this is definitely a science, and you can go to pubmed.gov and type in redox signaling, and you will see thousands of articles on the technology. So Charles, when Teddy was telling you about this, I take it that you were a little skeptical, right?
Yeah, salt water from Salt Lake City, that just sounded a little fishy.
Right. And for anyone listening that's new, you'll have to go to a specific video and watch how this is made from salt water, but it's not salt water, but it's the same thing that's in every cell of your body. And that's the cool thing about it. They were able to manufacture this outside the body and stabilize it so we could put it back into the body. You covered so much, Charles, and you had so many good testimonies. I mean, you had a lot of benefit from this product. Is this something you would ever stop taking?
No, as long as I've got the resources to get it, I will keep taking it. I may adjust my dosage, but they're coming out with new products and new formulas on it that has improved it already since we've been in the business and or since we've been using the product. And like I say, we're here to stay. We're committed to it, and mainly about the people. I mean, the program that Tyler Norton, one of the co-founders, was in last Friday night. I mean, that was just says it all. That the company is about people, about helping people, and that's what we need more of in this world today. It's so many things that are on capitalism about making money, and that's why a lot of people run or want to run when they think about network marketing or multi-level marketing. But the way I see it now, there's, like you said, there's nothing wrong with the multi-level marketing. It's the only way that this could justifiably be gotten to the people, because who's going to buy it when you pick it up on the shelf, like Alan says, and see that it says salt and water? I mean, I've had so many people turn it off when I was trying to tell them about it because it's just salt water. Well, no, like you said, it's way beyond salt water. They're taking it to another level where the body is the only other place that's capable of making those molecules. And you can feel them at work when you stay with it long enough. You take it right, take it long enough, it works. And I'm not talking about, I had a variety of issues all over from head to foot. And there's not one of them that's not been affected by these products in a good way. I'm talking improved conditions.
Yeah, and I tell people when I introduce this to them, I ask them to give it 90 days, preferably 120, because anything that we have as far as health challenges, we didn't get overnight. We usually didn't get them in 3 to 6 months. It's usually several months or even years before symptoms start manifesting. So you've got to give your body time to heal. And like you said, it does work. The science is there. It's just to what we may not see going on. And when people say they don't feel anything, I ask them, do you feel your vitamins working? Do you feel, if you're on a statin, do you feel that working? You can't feel that working. So you just have to trust the science and believe in it. And like you were talking about, people mentioned that it's just salt water. No, like you said, it's made from salt and water, But I think about, I compare it to like if you're baking a cake, you use eggs, flour, milk, sugar, mix it up, put it in the oven. Does it come out eggs, flour, sugar, and milk? No, it comes out a cake. It's a totally different object. And it's the same way with these molecules. And you would have to watch the video that we've talked about that talks about how they go in and they break apart the molecules, rearrange them, and put it back together to be this technology, which is pretty cool. And if you're a science geek out there, we have lots of science we can share with you as well. You covered a lot. Let's see what's in the chat here.
One more thing I might add while you're looking at that. I was back at my bad cell doctor this week and my urologist and this past week, and all my tests were still negligible amounts of bad cells, and my bad cell doctor fired me. He said, "I don't want to see you again." And
that's a good thing.
Yes, I fired him too. I said, "You're fired too." So we mutually fired each other. So we're so proud of that. I'm blessed, that I mean, I did some treatments, and this was before ASEA, but the improvements that I've seen, some of the side effects from the treatments, I've been able to quit another medicine that I was taking. I was taking it for years before I had the radiation treatments, and I was able to quit it in the last few months. And I know that's the cells, the ASEA redox molecules working, telling the cells what to do to rebuild.
That's exactly right. And the cell communication is important. And if we don't have that cellular communication, and we talk about too, you were talking about the research and development, there's still so much we don't know about this technology. They're still studying and researching this. But if your cells are not communicating, I'd be willing to bet people have an issue either in cardiovascular, inflammatory issues, digestive issues, hormonal issues, or what's the last one? I went blank. There's 5. I just went blank. Anyway.
Immune system.
Immune system. Thank you. That's the one applies to me, and I forgot it. So most people do have issues with one of the 5 issues in this category. So it goes back to cell signaling on the cellular level and even in the DNA level, like Dr. Maureen Hayes was talking about. So someone put, how long does it take for you to notice the difference? I would imagine it's a gradual experience before you realize what it's doing for you. It is. It's gradual. It's different for every person. Some people may notice something, and Charles, you may have noticed this like in the first week or 2 or a month, maybe better sleep and more energy. Those are things a lot of people will notice, but the more severe issues is going to take time.
Right. The emotional issues like the anxiety and depression, it took months for that to be noticeable. I mean, it was something that just probably 6 months to 9 months down the road, I began to notice the difference. And it progressed even, it continued to improve and does to this day. I mean, that was, like I say, we've been taking ASEA products for about 14 months now. And we started in May of 23, I believe. And I've just began to, there's some of it that just creeps up on you. You don't even realize it. My hair color changed one time. I think it's kind of gone back now. It went a lot darker there for a while. It was very noticeable. That was just a shocker to me. My daughter's a dental hygienist. I was sitting in her chair and she was working on my teeth. And she said, "Your hair's getting darker." And Stacy and the people at the workshops had been telling me it was getting darker. And I didn't really think much about it. And we got some old pictures out, and sure enough, it did. I was almost white-headed when I started the business. And
that's pretty cool. Well, I think that's all I have. Charles, Doria, do you have some questions? And you can continue to put questions in the chat for Charles as well.
Yes, I just have a couple comments, and I think you really spoke about it, Charles, about you just being a physical wreck. and I'm just thinking about the multiple injuries that you had that cause inflammation, and even with your surgeries that you have, people don't realize that. I mean, yes, you fix a bone. That we need healthcare. And we're not saying, tradition, we don't, wash out traditional healthcare, because, if you need a bone fix, you definitely need to have that done. But even those types of surgeries can cause inflammation as well. And I was just thinking, like, you come from the old school, where your work ethic is really strong, and you're going to do whatever it takes, and you're going to continue, pushing the plow, so to speak, to do whatever you need to do, to get things done around your home or fix things. And that's because of your generation. And I'm just thinking about all the many people that are probably in the same boat that you were in, and how they're suffering right now, and just thank God that Teddy had the boldness to say something to you, because if he didn't, where would you be, today? Yeah, and now you're 74 years old, you're living this vibrant life, you're in this state of wellness. And the beauty of the redox is it keeps you resilient to this stressful environment that we're living in, with all the different toxins that are surrounding us. How are you? So you had this great experience, which is unbelievable. I mean, just in the short amount of time that you've been on the product, how are you sharing this with others?
Well, I've worked with a lot of people that I've talked with on the phone every day, and some of them have joined me, and some have been skeptical and said, nah. And then just today, one of the best friends that I've ever had in life, and one of my former employers, I was talking with him, and found out that his wife is going through some health challenges right now. And I talked to him about this not long after I started using it. And he said, come back in a year if you're still using it, and I'll talk to you. So I called him and said, it's been a year. And I had some other things. I was done some business with him, and I had to call him about that. But I reminded him it had been a year, and he said, we need some of that. Go ahead and get it ordered. So Don's taking care of it tonight. And it's one of those issues where, just the situation you're in can change your mind. And I think that's what really I didn't have when I first shared with them. I didn't have any idea that what she's having the issue with now was going to pop up, because I knew of another condition that she had that had been all the time that I'd known her. And that wasn't even what got their interest.
Yeah. I think some people are watching us, how long are we? And, I've been on it for 5 years, and I'll never stop taking it, and I think they just want to trust, they think, well, maybe this is just one of those things, like you said, and you're going to be off of it in a short period of time, but you have longevity with it, and just look what it's done for you. So that's awesome. Yeah.
It is.
So thank you.
I don't see any other questions in the chat. We appreciate you coming on and talking with us, Charles, and giving your testimony. Somebody will hear this, or somebody will watch the replay, and this could change their life just like it did yours. And this is our passion, all of us on here. It's just sharing it. It's not about the profit. It's about the people and what this can do. I mean, if I could give this stuff away, I would. That's how passionate I think we all are about this. Nobody else has it. So heavily patented and lots of trade secrets. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. Dory, do you want to introduce next week, me, or what?
Yeah, and I think Charles has already shared with that. So we have his lovely wife, Dawn, and his daughter, Melanie, on next week. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't heard their testimony, so we're honored to have them and welcome them. And sure, Charles, you can hop on and listen as well. So thank you.
So if this resonated with you, or whoever invited you to this video, if you have questions, get back to that person and let them answer your questions. But give this a shot. Charles, one last thing. If someone came to you, what one sentence would you say to them about this? And or if they were skeptical, what would you say to them?
You need to try it to believe it. You need to see what it's done for me. And, some people won't watch a video. Some people won't go to a workshop. Just like the man I was talking about a minute ago. He said, I don't have time for any of that. He said, I'm looking at you. And if you tell me it's going to work, well, I'm ready to try it. And that's what I would say. You need to try it before you discount it, because it will surprise you. It did me.
You are a walking testimony. And the video that I showed earlier, it is on realredoxresults.com, like Doria said, and the password is Redox. There are 150 testimonials on there to date. So there are multiple different categories you can go in there and search. Most of them are anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes long. Sit down and just watch one or two a day and just see what you can find there. But again, we thank you, Charles, and we thank everyone for coming, and we will see you back next Tuesday night at 7. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording.
Thank y'all.